And welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Sierra, also known as siaslaysmua on Instagram. If you guys don't already know, probably don't. I'm really not that special. Today's video, I would like to show you guys how to contour, bake, and cake that face. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video because it's gonna be a long one. Don't forget to grab yourselves a drink and a snack to keep you occupied while you watch this long little, very in-depth video on how to contour your face like a pro. Also, be sure to like this video, comment down below what you'd like to see next on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave today. Without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing I like to do is prime. Recently, my favorite primer has been the Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer, and it has age-defying properties in it that kind of help your skin look younger, and it's just the best primer that I've found so far. It's a very illuminating primer, so when you pump it out, it kind of looks like a liquid highlighter almost, and even as you rub it out, it's very shimmery and glowy, and I love that because I'm always dying to glow. And when you're baking your face for a really long time, making sure everything is set and snatched, we like to really make sure that we still have that luminosity after all of those dry powders on your face. So I like to start with something that is a little more dewy to the skin. Next, I like to go in with my Infallible Total Cover Foundation, and I'm currently in the shade 305 Natural Beige. I like to just take this on the back of my hand because it is a very thick foundation. It's very full coverage, and this is actually the foundation that I wore on New Year's Eve. Even though I didn't do anything, I literally was in a car for 4 hours, headed back to Maryland to spend it with my family. So yeah, you guys will get a tutorial coming soon on the look that I actually wore on New Year's Eve. The pink with the glitters and all that stuff is so pretty. I loved it. And I had a lot of requests for me to film a tutorial on it. So I'm also going to mix that Total Cover Foundation with the Clinique Even Better Foundation. And I am in the shade in number 4. And we're just going to put her all right there. See, I swear to God, I ruin this shirt every time I freaking wear it. So now that you have all that on the back of your hand, I like to just take any brush or whatever and just mix it together because, like I said, that one foundation is super thick. And the Even Better foundation is just a really nice dewy finish. And I've noticed that even with the powders, it still really keeps my face moisturized. So I enjoy that a lot. I also like to spritz my face with rose water before I go in with any makeup, just because I feel like it helps it stick. It helps keep my skin hydrated all the way down underneath. I'm going to go ahead and take my damp beauty blender and blend this all over my face. Just in patting circular motions. Bring it down on the neck some. And I like to avoid my lips as much as I can, because I do put chapstick on before I film, before I do any makeup at all, just because I like to make sure that my lips are super hydrated during the entire process of all of this. Because underneath these bright lights and everything else, it can definitely get really dry fast. Dry and hot and not fun. I like to get really up in there. So most people would use this side to get underneath their eyes, but I just don't. I think it's easier to pick up powders with this side. But I just love blending out with the bottom side of my beauty sponge. Me personally, everyone has their favorites, but my personal favorite beauty sponge has got to be Real Techniques beauty sponges, and this one. I can't for the life of me remember the brand that this one is, but it just is so good. It came in a little pack with this one and a purple one, but the purple one is shaped differently, It has more of like a roundness to it, and obviously it's bigger because this one is wet, but it's just very dense. No matter how wet you get it, it just is so dense, and I don't feel like it blends out my makeup properly compared to this one. So like I just use this one. I like to put very minimal amounts of makeup on my forehead because it's such a small space, and it does coat it so smoothly and easily. Like I barely put any on my forehead compared to the rest of my face, and it's already like on there. So I try to use very little product just because it tends to cake up more on my forehead than anywhere else on my face. And then I like to take my beauty blender that still has any little bit of product left and just press the center of my brows. That way it just kind of gives it a better fade. If you guys saw my last video, my brow tutorial video, then you will know that my brows always end up looking a little bit more like very like drawn on. A lot of people always tell me that, and it's honestly because of that step right there. But it is it's not necessarily a vital step, but like for me it is, just because I love that effect that it gives. It just gives that perfect like stamp on brow moment, and I live for it because it's just so perfect and pretty. I just take my beauty blender and just press just a couple of times, and then make sure you didn't mess anything up. For concealer, I like to use the Clinique Super Concealer. It's the Beyond Perfecting Super Concealer, and I'm in the shade Very Fair number 5. I literally am almost out of this, so I'll be surprised if any comes out at all. Oh, there she goes. Little squirts. Awesome. And honestly, that little bit is enough to cover and be full coverage. Like, this concealer does not play around, and I have not been able to get off of it for months. I am so obsessed with the finish of this concealer, and just the overall coverage is amazing. It does not crease up for me, and it's just such a beautiful formula. I will buy this concealer for the rest of time until something comes out that's better than it. Now, I've never had Tarte Shape Tape. I've heard great things, great reviews, but I've never actually like taken the time out of my day to go buy it because I love this concealer so much that I won't like step out of my comfort zone. So if I should try Tarte Shape Tape, let me know down in the comment section down below. Now I'm just taking the butt end still and blending this out. Nose, on my lip, on my chin, and I like to get up in there as well, and it really just brightens the face so much. It's such a beautiful formula. I set this, I'm going to go in with a cream contour. It's the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer, and this is in the shade Cocoa, and it's just a very tan brown espresso-y shade. And I like to just align where my contours are. Now I know you guys can't really see them too well because of how bright this light is, but this is my general area of where I personally contour my face. Everybody's faces are different, so you don't want to necessarily do what everyone else is doing. You want to do what works for you. And I do believe I've done like a video like this before, and I basically said the same exact thing, but I just wanted to do like my updated routine because I haven't done this in so long with this beauty right here. And I start with my underlip, then I move to my chin and my neck, my jawline. Make sure that is all blended out to perfection. And just blend, 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 blend. Another thing I like to do when the contour starts to dry, so the NYX formula is a very drying formula, so I like to just spritz back over with some rose water just to refresh it so it moves around easier. And then blend it in. Again, this keeps the face hydrated as well, so it's a very neat technique to add into your routine. I just have to do the nose. Once that is all blended in, I like to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit and dip into all of the bottom shades, because honestly, if I just use this one, it is too cool toned. If I just use this one, it is too warm toned. And if I use this one, it's way too dark. So when I use all three, it's like the perfect like combination for me. And I just live for it. So we're going to go in with this brush right here. Just a standard contour brush. And scrape the whole way across that palette. Dip a little bit more into the center just to lighten it up some. And we are going to chisel out these stakes. Like so. We missed down here. We're going to start right here. Back off light. And we're going to pull her up into the areas that you have shadows on your face. So like this areas, the lower points. And I'm just doing this in circular motions to get the best overall flawless blend. Keeping it in the low points of the face. I like to start right around here and just work that in and really just kind of flicker this up and down on both sides to really chisel out that jawline. I like to go under the lip. And then for nose contour, I use a fluffy eyeshadow brush. This is the Real Techniques B04 brush, and it's just a very fluffy brush, blending brush. And I just like to dip into that middle shade of the contour palette, the Cool Tone one, and chisel out my nose. Now it is time to bake the face, and lately I've been using the number 7 powder, and this is the translucent Perfect Light loose powder. It's at Walgreens. It is such a beautiful powder, and it really does give that perfect amount of light under the eyes. I just want to blend out any creasing that may have happened while I was focused on getting down the darker parts of my face. And then I just wanted to go ahead and set the under eyes first. We're going to go ahead and bring that powder up onto the bridge of the sides of the nose. And we're just going to cut out that contour and really define it more. I'm just going to follow your contour. So bring it down anywhere else that I may crease, which is typically right in this area around my lips on my smile lines. And then we're also going to do the same thing on this side. Oh, that's a hair. And we're just going to simply carve a line down the side of the nose. And I'm also going to take a little bit of that contour, a little bit of that translucent powder right down the center of my nose for more of a defined effect of the contour. Like that. Kind of do some here just to define the under lip. And then I'm going to pick up more and just carve out my cheeks as well. Starting back here by my sideburns and just pulling them forward. And I'm going to take whatever excess powder is left on the beauty sponge and press it into the skin on my forehead. Like I said, I don't like to put a lot of powder there. I just kind of like to go really lightly handed on my forehead just because I feel like it makes them always look more natural. I'm just going to go ahead and let this bake for about 5 minutes. If you guys would like to go grab a drink, grab some popcorn, maybe a glass of a little sippy wine, go for it. I'll still be here when you get back. Alright guys, once 5 minutes or so is about up, you can honestly do it for less depending on how dry your skin is. You really don't want to overdo baking because it can dry you out very easily and then you'll just look like you have cake face. So just be aware of that when you are baking. Kind of just do what works for you as far as contouring your face, like how the shape of your face is, what contour looks the best for you. There's multiple different kinds. This is just what works for me personally. I loved a snatched nose. I loved the drag kind of look for my cheekbones because I've always wanted more like an intense cheekbone. That's always been me. So this is just my way of personally doing it. So yeah, just to put that little tip in there. You do not have to do this exactly the way I did it, but these are just some easier steps to kind of help you figure out what works for you when you go to contour your face at home and bake at home. I'm going to take any random big fluffy brush. This one is the B01 brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to wipe away that bake from underneath of my eyes first. And then I personally like to let my cheeks just bake a little bit longer because, like I said, I like that to be a very defined, like, sharpness. Excuse me. That's just my personal preference, but if you like more of a softer contour, obviously you want to lift it off the face as soon as you can, but if you want the contour to be more defined, then just let it bake, let it stay on for a little longer, and it'll be where you want it at. My next step for contour is Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and this one has been in my collection for so long now, it's literally almost gone. And you guys, this smells like coconuts. Like, it smells like we're on a beach drinking out of a freaking coconut. It is such a beautiful bronzer for so many different skin tones, and I just think that you will love it too, so definitely try it out. I'm just gonna kind of warm up the face a bit with this. Not necessarily contour anymore, but just warm up the face. I like to do blush, and recently I've been using this blush right here, and this is out of the NYX London 2.0 palette, and it doesn't have like a name or anything, but it says number 6 on it, so I like to just pick that up. She looks like that. She's just a very beautiful peachy kind of blush. Sorry you guys. Very beautiful peachy blush, and I just think it is such a beautiful blush for lighter to medium skin tones. It's definitely going to make you look very peachy and just like giddy, and like, yeah, it's definitely a perfect like first date romantic type of blush. And I like to just like douse a little bit of highlight over it because it just makes it like look like this inner glow from within, and like it's just so beautiful. Sorry, I'm ranting now. I'm just gonna put it on. And so pretty. Alright, you guys, now I'm going to go ahead and wipe away the remainder of it, because I feel like my cheeks are officially chiseled and snatched. So we're just going to do a quick sweep on both sides. There you have a chiseled, snatched, smooth face. Next, I'm going to go in with my rose water. Lately, I've been using this rose water as a setting spray because I find that it hydrates and keeps my makeup on way longer than any setting spray ever has. And as much as I really want to get back into the setting spray game, because there's so many great setting sprays out there, and one of my favorites is the Pharmacy Hydrating Essence setting spray. It's like a setting spray and like a hydrating mist, and it is so good, but it's like $48, and we're on a broke bitch budget, so let's not talk about it. But this is the Garnier Skin Active new soothing facial mist, and it is a vegan formula and has not been tested on animals, so it smells so freaking bomb. It is rose water, like I said before, so it just really kind of soothes the face, hydrates the face, and gives a little bit of life back to it. So I like to spritz this all over my face before adding highlighter, and I also like using it as a setting spray. See, like, look at like those dewy vibes it gives. I just love this so freaking much, and I highly suggest you go pick one up for yourself if rose water is like your thing. So then I like to just take my beauty blender and just melt it. Literally melts all of the makeup together so beautifully. I'm just gonna dab that into my skin all over. Bop, bop, bop. Bam, bam, bam. Boop, boop. That was so stupid. And I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild highlighting powder, and this is their Mega Glow powders. This one is in the shade, what shade are you? Precious Petals, and this highlighter looks just like this. It is such a beautiful yellow, pink, goldish, like shimmery highlighter, and I just think it looks so beautiful on the skin for a very peachy kind of day. And these two together, this blush and highlight combo, has been one of my all-time faves for like at least the past week. Yeah, I've been using James Charles Face from Morphe, from him at Morphe's palette, the face highlighter one. It's literally called Face, but I've been using that a lot lately, and I've like been really addicted to how that looks and how it just like, it's so blinding. It's literally one of the best highlights I've ever used. But this formula and this, like the shade of this mixed with this blush is just so beautiful, and I have to do it today, so I'm sorry, James, don't hate me. Just hit that high bone of your cheek. I like to just build that glow. Such a beautiful highlighter. And I like to spray my face with that rose water before I apply highlight, just because it sticks onto my face a lot better than what it does without. It just makes it look more pigmented and wet. One of my favorite steps of all time is obviously highlighting, but one of my favorite steps of highlighting is the center of my face. So like my chin, my cupid's bow, and my nose are literally my favorite part of my face to highlight. I don't know why, but there's just something about it that, like, look at that. I just feel like the center of my face is typically where my highlights are most pigmented at, and it's just so pretty to look at and to do. I am just obsessed with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and spritz my face one more time with the rose water spray. And we're just gonna fan our face, and we'll just dab in whatever product is left over that is extra. And that, everyone, is how I contour and bake my face like a cake. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative for you. And if you guys have any questions about anything concerning contour, or what powders to use, what powders not to use, what powders are going to give me flashback, what powders are not going to give me flashback, that kind of thing, please comment down below. I will be glad to answer any of your questions. And I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and leave any comments down below. Love you guys, and I will see you in my next one.